So we want to actually train you on how to throw it. And the axes aren't heavy. I mean,
Yeah.
they're 1.5 pounds. They're not heavy at all.
Yeah.
So I would say that 99% of people that come in stick it.
Today we are at the Horse's Axe in Denison, Texas, and you're going to learn all about how much fun it is to come here, what kind of entertainment is available, and why you should plan a trip to spend some time at this location on Main Street in Denison, Texas. Today we are here with Mike Roberts of the Horse's Axe in Denison, Texas. And this place is amazing. It's fun. And right now we're going to start off talking about how the Horse's Axe started.
How it came about?
Yes.
So it started as a joke.
Okay.
It honestly did. When I was in corporate America, we were at a national meeting, and my sales team wanted me to take them out for a team building event.
Okay.
And they suggested axe throwing. And my response was, I'm sorry, you want to do what? And so I had never heard of it before. This is probably in 2018, I think it was. And they said, oh, it's safe, it's growing in popularity, it's going to be a lot of fun. So we went and we had a good time. And while we were there, one of my employees walked up to me and she said, hey, Mike, I got a retirement idea for you. And I said, what's that? She goes, open an axe throwing venue. And I went, yeah, that's not happening. But I still remember looking around at that moment and thinking to myself, I think I could do this better, maybe. There were a few things that jumped out to me. So I went home the next day and told my wife, I said, hey, hon, retirement idea. She said, what? I said, we're opening an axe throwing venue. And she went, okay. So it became a standing joke in my house. And then about a year and a half after that, into 2019, my company did a big layoff. My name was on the list. And, so I think I did what anyone does that goes through a layoff. You update your resume, you start interviews, and that's exactly what I did. And I did some interviews, did not feel good about any of them. And I was talking with my wife about it one night. Just, hey, hon, I just don't feel good about any of these companies I'm interviewing with. And they were big companies. And my daughter overheard us. She was in the kitchen. She goes, hey, Dad, what about that axe throwing idea? And my wife and I kind of looked at her. We looked back at each other and went, well, let's check it out. So the next thing I did is I went and talked to my wife's brother, Darren. His name is Darren Gines. And Darren had a bunch of pool tables in storage, like a whole bunch of them. He bought a bunch of pool tables from a pool hall in Denton, Texas that had closed down probably 10 or 12 years ago. And so I asked him, so what are you going to do with those pool tables? And he's like, I don't know, someday open a pool hall maybe? And I said, well, what would you think about axe throwing in pool? And he went, excuse me, what? So a lot of jokes started coming out, and but he eventually, he started coming around to it. And so I guess it was a few weeks later, Darren and his wife, Michelle, and Holly and I, Holly's my wife, Holly and I, we all sat down together in our living room in Denton, Texas. And we said, okay, if we were going to do this, what would we call it? And with us naming an axe throwing venue, it was one pun after the other. What's going to stick? And my wife was sitting there checking .coms on her laptop. And none of us remember who said it, but someone said the Horse's Axe. And we all kind of went, there's no way that could be available because we could do so much with that. And so we kept on throwing our names out, but my wife, checking the .coms on her laptop, a minute or two at night, she went, hold on, everyone. Horsesx.com is available, and I can't find anything online about Horses X, anything. And Kim, we started laughing and cracking jokes. We turned back to her, we said, buy it. She's like, I already did.
Oh my goodness.
So the Horses Axe was born in January of 2020. And so then Darren and I thought, okay, well, let's go find a place here in our backyard in Denton, Texas, where we can open our first one. And he and I spent probably 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks driving around trying to find a place where we thought it would work. We did find a place just 4 blocks south of the square in Denton on Elm Street. And we signed the lease, and a week later, the country shut down.
Yeah.
So COVID struck. I don't think anyone really knew what was going on at first. But I think we were faced with a decision. You know, do we try to get out of this lease, or do we move forward? And what we thought, and I think probably what most people thought was, well, you know, this will be gone in a few months.
Right.
And we thought it's going to take us probably 6 months, maybe 7 months to build this thing out.
Right.
So let's just keep moving forward. And so we did. But then as the summer got there and things were getting worse and worse and worse, we started realizing, oh my gosh, we're going to open this place up. Turns out it was at the height of the pandemic in Texas. So as we were getting further along in the build out and trying to, you know, just watching things that are going on and, you know, people getting sick and, you know, how easily is this disease spread and stuff like that, we started thinking about the axe.
Right.
And that's wood. How do you sanitize wood? You can't. I mean, and we, you know, our first thought was we'll make everyone wear gloves.
Right.
So, but you know, you figure if someone's got a glove on, they cough on a glove, they grab it next person with a glove. It's the same thing.
The
It
whole
doesn't change
problem
anything.
with gloves, right?
Right. It doesn't change anything. And I talked to one of those companies that does the blue light sanitizers, and they said, well, you know, to an extent, it would work, but it's wood. It's a porous material. You just can't sanitize it. So what we did is we learned how to import, and we sourced thousands and thousands of axes. So when we first opened in November of 2020 in Denton, Texas, we had axes. When people would come in, we had axes lined up on the table. We said, pick an axe. People would pick an axe. We'd say, hold it up. They'd hold it up in the air. We'd clap our hands. We'd say, congratulations, you now own a horse's axe. and you know, people were at first, they were like, oh yeah, that's funny. And we're like, I don't want it back. You own it. I don't even want to touch it. You take it home. And they went, oh wait, what, you're giving it to me? We're like, yep, it's yours. And then what we said is, you know, when you bring it back with you in the future, you're going to throw it a discount. So we kind of, you know, built a coupon into it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it became our thing. We started having, when word finally got out, we started having people drive in from all parts of the Metroplex. There were a couple TikTok videos that some people filmed that went viral. Next thing you know, we had people flying in from other states to our little place in Denton.
Right.
And they would start their vacation. I had this one dad call me and he's like, hey, my kids are flying into town and they want to start our vacation at your place. I'm like, okay, well, where are they flying in from? He said, Washington.
Wow.
Washington State? I was like, yeah, Washington State. They saw a video of you guys somewhere. He goes, so I'm going to drive up there and get them. And I said, where are you driving from? And he goes, Houston.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. So it was one of those videos that went viral, talking about getting the axe for free.
Yeah.
And it happened multiple times, people coming in from just all parts of the country. So it became our thing. And then a company called LegalZoom, if you've ever heard of them, LegalZoom.com, they picked us up for a national marketing campaign. And, you know, it's just kind of been a fun ride.
Yeah.
And because of that national advertising campaign with LegalZoom, we decided that we should launch franchising. As a matter of fact, our first franchise opened just last week in downtown McKinney.
Okay, that's
So,
awesome. Congratulations.
thank you. So our first one's in Denton, second one here in Denison, where we're at today, and the first franchise, but third location is in McKinney.
So someone else owns that, but they're franchised from you. Like
Yes.
if I opened a McDonald's or something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So we're excited.
That is exciting.
We're excited for them too. I hope it goes really, really well in McKinney.
Yes.
I think it will.
So, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what, do you still do the axes the same way?
Yeah, the price point hasn't changed. So when someone comes in, it's $29.99 for an hour of axe throwing. You keep the axe. When you bring the axe back with you in the future, you throw for $15.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Now, we have some people that come in that are like, I don't want an axe, or hey, I'm flying out tomorrow, I can't take an axe on a plane. Well, they can throw for $20 an hour.
Okay.
And just use one of our house
Right.
axes, a community axe. In McKinney, all the pricing is $5 higher because rent down there is outrageous. So they've got to be able to make it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to live within your community,
Yeah.
rent and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like New York, I'm sure.
Yeah, our New York franchise will be super expensive.
But maybe you'll have more volume.
Yeah, probably.
So then that could, bring it down a little.
Yeah, and we're thinking that McKinney, their location is right in downtown McKinney.
Oh wow.
There's a lot of traffic
Like
down there.
on the square
So
near.
right, you could throw a ball and hit the courthouse.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's on the south side on Louisiana Street.
Okay.
If you know where the Mellow Mushroom is,
Yeah.
it's 2 doors closer to the courthouse.
Okay.
Same side of the street.
Wow. Okay.
So that's where they're at.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a fantastic location. So
Yeah, that sounds great. So when did you open up the Denison location?
August 26th of last year,
Okay.
2022. So Denton had been open 20 or 21 months before this one opened. We bought this building in downtown Denison shortly after we opened Denton. So we knew we wanted to do a second one pretty quickly. So Denton opened, and I think it was about 6 weeks later. I think it was in fact, it was New Year's Eve of 2020 that we bought this building.
Wow.
And it's a really big building. And it's really old, so it was not in great shape. So it took 20 months of construction.
I believe you. Yeah.
So it was a lot. My brother-in-law Darren, he's the guy that does the build out. He leads the charge on it, and he did just a fantastic job here and in Denton. They're both, when people walk in, especially people that have been to their axe throwing venues, they walk in and they're kind of overwhelmed at how nice it is. Because I think, there's a lot of places that open in warehouses and maybe you don't spend much money on making the place look nice. Ours is, I guess, more of a rustic look. We use a lot of reclaimed wood. A lot of this wood in here came out of this building, and we just reused it.
Oh, that's awesome! I love that.
So,
but it looks polished. I've been in entertainment kind of venues before that are like a big warehouse. You're basically wandering around from area to area, and it's just a big warehouse with a bar in it. So this one looks, very, very well done.
We like to feel like we're an upscale axe throwing venue, but really we're kind of becoming more of just an entertainment venue, because we have axe throwing, but we also have pool tables. At this location, we've got an arcade. We've got a really big selection of drinks. We've got a kitchen. We do pizza, chicken wings, French fries, and we're going to start expanding the menu too. So, axe throwing is our main attraction, but that's not all we are. We've got plenty of people that just come in for dinner,
Right.
and we want people to feel comfortable doing that too.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we've had some people ask, if we're not axe throwing, can we come in? Absolutely. Yes, please.
And you have music too.
Yeah. Well, on Monday nights we do an open mic.
Okay.
I would say probably a couple of weekend nights a month right now. We've got some live music, some really more acoustic live music that comes in. So that's been a fun ride too. So
yeah, lots of
it's
reasons
fly.
that little fruit fly. Yeah, lots of reasons to come. I mean, you've got nice pool tables. The arcade area just reminds me straight out of when my kids used to always want to go to the arcade.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
let's go spend however much money, as
Right.
much as you'll give me on to play at the arcade.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So mom's like, I'll put $10 on your card, and 10 minutes later, here's $10 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When my
Keeps
kids
going
were
and going.
little, we had a local pizza place, and we loved to go there because we really liked the pizza. And it could be buffet, but they would bring yours to your table. Sometimes if you ordered something special.
Yeah.
And it had an arcade, of course. So the kids were always up for it because they knew
It's
when
fun.
they got bored of the conversation, all the adults sitting around talking, they could go play
Go
games.
hit the arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of kids enjoy the arcade here.
So are you open 7 days a week, or how does that work?
Right now we're closed Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay.
And we're on the weekdays. It's evening hours. So Monday and Thursday from 5 to 10. Saturday. I'm sorry. Monday, Thursday 5 to 10. Friday 5 to midnight.
Okay.
Saturday 1 p.m. to midnight, and Sunday 1 to 7. So 5 o'clock on weekdays, 1 o'clock on weekends.
Okay. And like Sunday family hours, kind of.
Yeah, and we have special pricing on Sunday too. We
wow.
call it Sunday Family Fun Day. So all the axe throwing pricing is discounted. Sundays are actually usually pretty busy. I would highly recommend that anyone that wants to come in and throw axes, just do a reservation online real quick.
All right.
And there's plenty of times when you can come in, walk in, get on the lane, no problem. But it's kind of unpredictable when we're going to get busy.
Yeah.
And sometimes there'll be a wait. People have to wait 30 minutes or an hour to get on the lane. But the people that have a reservation, their priority.
They come in, it's their reservation.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So, and everything, people can look at all of our pricing. And we have party packages and corporate event packages.
That was my next question.
It's all online. So if they go to horsesaxe.com and select whatever location you want, Denton, Denison, or McKinney at the top menu, then you can look at the pricing by location. You can look at the party packages, the corporate event packages. And those party and corporate event packages are really nice, because something that that I get a lot when someone who's organizing a party calls me, they say, well, we're going to have somewhere between 10 and 20 or 20 and 30 or 30 and 40 people. We don't really know. We won't know until that day. So what we've done with these party packages, if we just said, you know what, don't worry about the head count. We're just going to give you a price, and how many lanes do you want for how many hours? Here's how many people that can accommodate. And then we have packages where you can, everyone can take home an axe. Or if you don't want that, we can put food on there, drink tickets. So then if you have, say, 4 lanes, I can tell you that that's a perfect size for a couple hours for 24 to 48 people.
Oh, wow.
Right? But if you just have 12 people show up, you still get all 4 lanes. Or if you have 70 people show up, you still have 4 lanes.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of the questions away, as far as, we don't know how many people we're going to have until we get there. So how are we pricing this? Real easy. Boom. So.
And so that reminded me of like when you have children. So children are going to want to play. Tell us about how you organize children.
Oh, children for throwing axes?
Yes, for throwing axes.
So we do have an age restriction.
Okay.
So 7 and under, we've got a foam axe. It won't stick in the target. It just bounces off, and we just tell parents, hey, wherever it hits, click on there, and it'll record the points for them. And the little ones love it. They just want to get in here and participate and throw something. So there's no way they can get hurt with the foam axe. From 8 to 12, the first thing we'll do is we'll ask the parents, do you want them to attempt a real axe? If the answer is yes, then we'll tell them, okay, well, we'll test them. If we deem that it's not safe, we'll just ask for your support on that.
Yeah.
And so then we'll test the kids and see if they're going to throw a foam axe or a real axe. And then teenagers, 13 to 17, they just need an 18-year-old in the party with them.
Okay.
But then we're there too.
Right.
So when people come into our axe throwing venue, you do a waiver, you watch a safety video, you get assigned a coach, and then we will review the safety with you again.
Okay.
And we'll actually show you how to throw.
Okay.
And help you stick it. Because if you're not sticking an axe in the target, it's just, you're not going to have fun.
Yeah.
So we want to actually train you on how to throw it. And the axes aren't heavy.
Yeah.
They're 1.5 pounds. They're not heavy at all.
Yeah.
So I would say that 99% of people that come in stick it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not hard to do. I kind of look at it as the new bowling. But for me, I can't go bowling anymore. I'll have a backache for 3 days. But it's easy to do, and I think people are beginning to learn about it, and when they come and experience it, they realize, oh wow,
this is fun.
This is a lot of fun. You bring some friends in. It is kind of bowling-esque. You're just not throwing a heavy ball. You're throwing a light axe.
Yeah.
So anyway, we can accommodate parties of younger kids, and then we have adult parties all the time. I was talking to someone earlier today. The lady was like, well, we're all in our 50s and 60s. Can we do this? I was like, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. So it's an easy thing to do.
And these axes, they're not sharp. They have a coated.
Yeah, well, so this comes off,
that comes
right?
off. I was
right.
like,
but still,
okay.
They're not very sharp.
Okay, got it. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't say they're dull.
No,
but they're not very sharp.
Yeah.
They don't need to be. The way that we have our targets set up is more of a traditional Canadian style of targeting. So, this table is actually a good example. Most axe throwing venues, they've got boards like this on the wall, stood up, obviously with a painted target on it. Well, the problem with throwing at something like this is that this is the hard side of the wood. It's extremely dangerous to throw something at this. It's going to bounce back at you. What we did is we looked at Canadian axe throwing, and I don't think you can really see it in the camera or not, but our targets are just, they're a bunch of blocks that are 7 inches deep with the end grain out. So if you think about what the lumberjacks did forever ago, is they took a cross section of a tree trunk and they stood it up to throw axes at it. And that exposes the end grain of the wood, whereas this is the long grain of the wood, the hard side versus the soft side.
Yeah.
So all of our blocks are end grain out. So here, you don't have to throw an axe hard. Here, it's more form and distance, and that's what we work with you on. So, and it's pretty telling when people that have thrown somewhere else come in, then they're like, hey, we've done this before. They're throwing it hard, and they comment, oh, your axes aren't very heavy. I'm like, they don't have to be. So we're different. I think we've approached it differently, and I think when people come in and they realize that and they appreciate it.
Well, it sounds like you've taken all the safety, like risk type things, and thought about them. Because I wouldn't want to be standing where someone's throwing in trying to hit a hard board and watching it bounce.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't be running a place like that. So the wood with the soft side out, it's a different, and in my opinion, much better experience. But then also you can tell, the scoreboard up top. We've got projectors in the ceiling that project down onto the wood, and we've got these rubber curtains hanging down, and there's airspace behind the curtain. So if someone misses the target, it just collapses, and the axe collapses in the curtain and falls. It doesn't bounce back out.
Yeah.
So I think we've done a lot of things that make it safe, and I believe a lot of people have a misconception that axe throwing is a dangerous thing to do. I don't. Not here. It's not dangerous here.
Especially you have all the, the safety video and the instruction, and you're really making it a place where people come and have fun and not worry about getting scalped or something.
Correct. Yeah, no scalping here.
That would be kind of shocking
Yeah.
to have an axe bounce off hardwood and hit you in the back of the head or something.
Yeah, well, so there are plenty of videos on YouTube, axe bounce back
I
videos.
actually think I've seen one of them before.
Yeah, well, if you look at them, they're all throwing it the long grain of the wood, every single one of them.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to say that we've eliminated all bounce back here,
Yeah.
but we've eliminated quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
I've never seen, so I've been doing this for almost 3 years. I've never seen an axe bounce back past
And come
someone.
flying out,
Yeah. Yeah, we just, when we work with people, if we notice that they're throwing it real hard, we'll say, hey, you don't have to throw it that hard here.
Right.
Here's why, and we'll explain it to them. And like, oh, wow, okay. And it, people just get into really the form that we teach. And then the second thing to throwing an axe is your distance. So we help people find their distance, get their form right, and then they're scoring points. And then we also have, with our projection system, we've got multiple games. So we've got a couple different bullseye games. You can also throw axes at zombies. You can throw axes at ducks. You can play tic-tac-toe, Connect Four. We've got a game that's Candy Crush inspired that's a lot of fun. So when people come in, you're not just throwing at a static target. When you come in to throw axes, there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
So you'll be entertained.
That's fun. That all sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a great place for date nights, especially date nights with multiple couples.
Right.
We come in and have blasts together. Parties here are a blast.
Yeah.
Birthday parties, corporate parties, they're a blast. Because sometimes what we'll do is we'll do a little tournament.
That's fun.
The more people, the better, because sometimes it gets competitive, but more than anything, you just hear people having fun, laughing. So it turns into a good time.
Well, I have not been here until today, and I've heard good things.
Thank you.
And when I realized we were going to have an interview, I was really excited because I wanted to see what it was like and what it was all about. And it is just a really amazing place. You did a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We worked real hard on it.
Well, thank you so much. And like I said earlier, if you want to do any kind of marketing together, just let me know. Okay. Hey, we're doing this event, or hey, you want to do an event? And
yeah, we also have a mobile axe throwing unit.
Do you? So you can go to like people's whatever
home parties, or like we're doing Oktoberfest in McKinney. We did an auto show in Denton this past weekend. We've got some private events in the next couple of weeks that Darren's taking it to. So just imagine 2 axes, lane's not that wide, but 2 axe throwing lanes on a trailer with a dividing wall. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I could see that at a Renaissance festival.
Yep. The first one we ever did that was the Celtic Fest in Sherman.
Oh wow, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, went really well.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah. Today we've been in downtown Denison at the Horse's Axe on Main Street. And I just wanted to let you know, if you or one of your friends have a business and you would like to be highlighted, give me a call. And of course, if you want to buy or sell any property or have any questions about any property, that's what I'm here for. Look forward to meeting you soon.